Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's Invisible Sunday. And you know what that means. We're back in the actuality for the Soul's Direction with my wonderful cast. Les one, Chris is out, and Sterling is lost in the shadow teaching math again. We're going to let him have fun with, calculus and discrete functions and all that really interesting stuff that I got to hate after several years of taking it. And join the other three. Let's go ahead and introduce them real quick. Kelton, you want to get us started?
Hey, I am Kelton. You can find me around as Fesnerax or Fesnerax the Fantastic. I am playing Billy Burrows, and I am super stoked to be here. Been a while.
Thanks. And Joanne?
Hi, I'm Joanne, the Angel of Angel Citadel. I'm playing Claire Thespian, and I'm really happy to be able to escape into the actuality because, yeah.
And last but not least, Jeff.
I am Jeff. I'm playing Albion Finch, and you can find me on Discord as Jeffrey Boring.
All right. And I am your host. I'm Josh Wallace, the keeper of the keys to Angel Citadel, and I am playing the GM. I will, load up my multiple personality disorder and play everybody else that they're not playing. And with that, we'll return to the Indigo in the city of Saturnine. Now, anybody interested in a hidden knowledge for a recap of what happened last session? Yes, no, maybe?
Come on, Kelton, you get the notes.
I don't even have notes from
What?
last
No
time because I
notes?
was traveling. Yeah, big
I'm
surprise.
crushed. I'm absolutely crushed.
I think.
I have notes from the time before. I didn't have my notebook.
I know we did
So
stuff.
my brain is mush because I've been running around like a crazy person all day.
All
I'm a
right.
human
So
pachinko ball.
so you guys got together in a cafe
Mm-hmm.
and you started planning out how to build a radio station.
Oh, and we had the guy that was spying on us, and I sent the little fairy, and he ended up going into the
Yeah.
creeping house at the circus, and the fairy came back, and the fairy was hurt, and told me about it, and then I shared it with the guys after we had left the cafe because somebody's steak ate the fork.
Yes.
Like you do.
My
So-
steak ate my fork.
So yes, Albion had ordered steak, and his steak ate his fork because it didn't want to get eaten. And there's that. And you did have an eavesdropper, and Claire summoned a sprite from the green to go after him and bribed it with a shiny glitter pen and some gem orbs. And so it followed them. They went back to the Fade, and that being, that individual, whatever, whoever, whatever that is, actually did not follow them to the lighthouse that they went to. It went back to the carnival from our Halloween episode of last year. And it appeared to go inside the house at the center of the carnival. And the sprite seemed to try and follow them and came back out, and it was not very happy. Or maybe it didn't make it all the way. You're not quite sure. That was kind of a convoluted story. He appeared to be in a lot of pain. And then the two of you made it back to Albion's bomber and your beetle. And you mentioned that you'd found a potential site for a secondary broadcast bounce, and that it might not be a bad idea to set up several such sites in and around Saturnine. to help mask your transmissions through um, multiple broadcast sites so that they can't pinpoint where it's coming from.
Yep.
So that is where we left off. Let me ask you guys, would you rather pick it up right there, or do you want some time to have passed? We can be down for as long as you guys want, and you can be working on stuff in long-term play, or we can jump back right there if you want to. It's entirely up to you.
I had a question.
42.
That's my birthday. Um, as I was going to ask the question, I was thinking about something. I'm a goetic, and the goetic library is only for goetics. What are the chances of me being able to find something and borrowing it from the goetic library that would be able to help Albion with the radio station? Because I figured they've probably got a bunch of stuff that's random stuff too. And I'm willing to pay some hidden knowledge. Because I got a bunch of that.
Well, um, the goetics will not allow you to take something from the library.
Yes, but nothing says I can't duplicate the book and take it from the library.
That's where I was going. If you spend some hidden knowledge to find it, and are willing to spend the time to copy it, they have no problem with that because you're a goetic.
Okay.
So, tell me what it is you're looking for, and I'll tell you how much hidden knowledge is going to cost you to find, and how long it's going to take you to find it, and then how long it's going to take you to copy it.
I would like so I figure it's probably we're probably not the first people that have come up with the idea of a radio station or something similar. So I would
No,
like to
there's
find, because there's already one that's built. I would like to find information on who maybe built the first radio and how they did it, and then maybe I would also like to find the name of the person that first built it and whether or not they're alive or if they're in the pale. Because if they're not alive and they're dead, then I'm gonna summon
okay.
this
Um,
boof.
okay.
That's interesting.
All right.
What is?
Your plan.
Interesting good or interesting?
Interesting. Good.
Okay. Um, that is going to cost you two hidden knowledge, and it's not it's not that it's particularly hidden, like, oh my goodness, this is some deep dark secret that somebody wants to keep hidden. It's just you have to sift through a whole bunch of crap to find it. Um, most of the goetics is uh, packed and hidden names of demons and spirits and all that jazz, right? They do have other stuff, but you have to sift through all the quote unquote goetic stuff to get there. Um, and it's kind of mixed in. so it takes you a while to find. Um, it's actually going to take you 12 days of sifting, and it's not like full days. You're talking 4 or 5 hours or whatever, because it's about when your eyes will go cross-eyed from looking. Um, but after that, you find the information you're looking for.
Okay. And is the
The
creator alive or dead?
Okay, the creator is a Vislay by the name of Leander, Leander, Z Finnerty, Finnerty. I'll drop that in chat here.
Please do.
All right. So there's that.
So I will ask you two. Do you two just want to move ahead with time, or do we want to say that I'm working on that as we're doing other stuff?
No, I'm not. Hello. I think Albie would want to work on a couple of items during that time. Would be interested in making a couple of ephemera objects.
Okay.
Okay.
What about you,
Um,
Billy?
Billy, I've took me a while to get here, but um, Billy has some research to do uh, to pull this off, and that's going to be uh, on potentially some sort of way to make a weave permanent, or at least into something that could be ongoing and fed in some way. Um, because if we're just doing like one broadcast, no biggie. I think I have a plan to cover it in a way that might be interesting and might work. But if we're going to keep doing stuff, it's going to become, I can't just like blow all of my sorcery points every single day or something. Yeah, I need to figure something out. So
That makes sense. So
I
what I'm
might do
hearing
some
is
library. I might talk to Kudash, but yeah, research.
okay. So what I'm hearing is everybody kind of wants to go
Mm-hmm.
long term play. So let's walk through this. I'll go. Let's go ahead and you want to make. Let's see here. Two ephemera objects.
Mhm.
All right, I'm good with both of those. Go ahead and um, let's see. For the first one, that's going to be. I'm going to call that one double the normal cost in money,
Mhm.
because the materials are probably going to be fairly rare. The other one's just standard, and you can go ahead and make the rolls for that and just drop them in chat. But I'm
Okey-doke.
going to say you know how to do, or with the second one you know how to do it. With the first one, um, it's going to require speaking to a couple of makers, but
Mm.
you can do that fairly readily.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not the specialty one that we talked about before.
No, not at all. No.
That's just
This would
not
just
something that
be
you typically do.
right. I'm imagining this would be like you activate it by bleeding into into the potion, and
Yeah,
then
or something like that. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
um, probably a little gross, but all right. Well, Albie will go out and talk with some other alchemists about creating some sort of temporary life. And let's see. Oh yeah, I'll just have to roll. Uh, First roll, it'll be +1 for my maker connections to see if I can find someone who can kind of guide me through and maybe assist. Uh,
Okay.
and I rolled a 3, so that'll be 4 total. Um,
I'll say you can based on that.
Great. So yeah, Albie spends a couple days reaching out to some folks and finds someone who can kind of show him the technique, and then will begin working on that. We can kind of skip me rolling if you want to.
Great. Go ahead and do that and just drop the rolls in chat.
Yeah.
And we can deal with those after we go around the room. Um, so let's start with Claire really quick. So as you're sniffing around in the library and doing your research, um, I'm assuming, and feel free to correct me, okay? But I'm assuming you're going to do this like tacked on to the work that you do in the library as part of
Yes,
your
yes.
goetic requirements. Okay, so Heber is around, and he actually notices you staying longer and poring over tomes. And about day 5-ish, he pulls up a chair and sits down next to you, and he kind of looks at you for a second and says, "You have the look of somebody that's working on something interesting."
I am going to look up slowly with a look of perplexed confusion and then smile impishly and go, maybe.
He gets a big grin on his face. I love when people do that. We don't get enough of that here. It's mostly dusty old men summoning demons for stupid reasons. If I might ask, would you be interested in some help? He looks
He's going to sit
around.
there and kind of.
He looks around and then kind of leans in towards you. If I'm honest, just helping people learn how to use this place and finding random books is kind of boring. And then he winks. I mean, yes, I know it's important, and yes, new goetics need to learn how to do it, and that's fine. But, ugh, you know,
I believe I comprehend the problem that you're having. I could see my way into inviting you. However, before I can do so, I would probably need to talk to my PICs. And she'll give him a wink.
Fair enough. I don't mean to pry. And if you prefer to keep it confidential, I understand, but it would also give me a little bit more time to spend with. He looks around again with you.
She is going to have the most completely perplexed look on her face. Like, what? And she's going to think about it and just kind of smile and look down and, okay. Well, I can let you in on a little bit of it. We're in the process of building a radio because I've got some plays that I'd like to get produced and out there.
That's interesting. Usually people go to the existing radio stations, but you're building your own. That's a lot. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we don't want somebody else's agenda interfering with our plans. And she's gonna get this big impish smile on her face that just screams, I'm making trouble.
He looks around and kind of leans in. You're ducking the go-ahead council, aren't you? And he gets this big smile on his face and kind of winks at you.
And a few other people that would be very, very displeased if the information I have gets out.
You can see him almost vibrating with excitement. Like this guy has probably the most boring job ever. And you walked in with, I don't know, a PlayStation 5 and he's never played video games before, right? And you're like, "Here, look at this, huh?" So that's he's just he wants to help just because it's something different to do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I comprehend it, but I'm going to make sure I talk to Billy and Albion before I, move forward because I don't want to, bring this guy in and then he betray us because, you know.
Yep. No, I totally get it. So that's there. Billy, research.
Uh, this is this is interesting. I have questions. So Billy
Okay.
has two um, weaves in mind to achieve some of the masking, the cloaking of what we're doing, and one of them is for like the physical location of the radio station and us,
Okay.
and then one of them is for the broadcast itself. And so for that one, Billy might like talk to Albion and try to figure out a way to make this part of like how broadcasting actually works. So the two are for the building. Our goal here is to um, come up with some kind of non-binary way to hide this place. So that will dupe the Thaw and the powers that be that think in terms of these like true false sort of dichotomies. And so I was going to kind of weave together a contradiction of immobility from sleep and movement from freedom to collapse the concept in on itself, so that if you're trying to pinpoint the location of the radio station, it's sort of everywhere because it's constantly moving, but it's not moving at all because it's immobile.
I love it.
And then I need to figure out how to
It's
make
very
that
Heisenberg.
last. Yes. Yeah, I want to take it the two poles of that binary and just kind of squish it all, or just pull it out into just a giant gray area where it's everywhere and nowhere.
Awesome.
And then I'm wondering, I know that some devices in Saturnine work through the noosphere and in various ways through sort of dreams, which is my bag. And I was thinking of weaving together something like subtlety and dreams, because the way I'm thinking of this is like the deeps of sleep is a part of the blue. It in some ways is like a discrete singular place, but every single person here in Saturnine, when they're sleeping, and there's always people sleeping, are like a little node or like a pin on your Google Maps of connection to it. So I want to reach out to all of those little nodes and broadcast from them. So if we can divert the signal like to the deeps of sleep through all of the people in Saturnine that are dreaming, so it's coming from them, or it looks like it's coming from them rather than coming from our radio station or us.
Wonderful. I love it.
And then I have to figure out how to make that something that I can. They're going to be really, really high level effects, the highest I can do. And then I wanted to research maybe for the building itself, or the hardware. Maybe that's something I talk to Albion about, and we figure out a way to make the weave that I'm intending like a part of the system itself. And then for the other one, I need to figure out a way to like sustain that. So I'm thinking like libraries. I'm thinking maybe talk to Kudash, and try to figure out how we can make this a sustainable venture, if the weaves even work in the first place. Whew, okay. That was a mouthful.
So I'm gonna say that what you're looking at is essentially a 3-part problem, 3-part task. Okay, part 1 is research the weaves. Part 2 is try and figure out how to take those weaves and make them permanent, or at least permanent while a device is used. So you're looking at creating an object of power rather than an ephemera. And then part 3 is the actual creation and binding of those weaves to that object of power or whatever that is. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay.
Spot on.
I'm going to suggest that for the first part of that, going to talk to Kudash will give you a at least a +1 bonus to your research for that, but he may also be able to give you a asset as well, as in a place to go to look for that kind of thing. Once that's done, we'll work on the next part. How about that?
Perfect sense.
So fast forwarding a bit, Albion, you have created 2 ephemera. Why don't you go ahead and describe what it is that you've made? I'm assuming that you show it to the rest of your friends, and over the course of this long-term whatever, you guys get together regularly and have coffee at someone else's house, or in Billy's case, maybe bourbon. But
Well, now I've been working on a few things. Just trying to hone my alchemical skill, and uh, I have created for myself. Well, it's kind of a homunculus. You, I, I've created a, a reagent catalyst for this magical effect. If I or anyone bleeds into this vial, it will cause a reaction that will uh, it will create life. Now, it's much less miraculous than it sounds. It'll only last a few hours. The poor thing is weak and small and not especially adept at anything in particular, but it would probably look like, from the best of my research, I assume it would look like a kind of small uh, mutated version of whoever used their blood to create this thing. You just bleed into it. I'm pretending to bleed right now just to show you. Just
yeah,
bleed, and then you just what? Rennie, I'm telling this story now. You bleed in, you put the top back on, you give it a shake, and then you toss it out. You know, you don't have to break the vial. Life finds a way, and you it'll within a few moments it'll get birthed. If you want to think of it in that way, it'll last a few hours. Now, I have Rainy here to kind of do a lot of stuff. But if anybody, and now, Billy, I'm looking at you. If anybody needs some sort of a little lackey to run errands or make a distraction or whatever, now I think this might be a good if you'd like it. Now, if you don't, I suppose I could find a use for it. I know that
Well, that's simultaneously horrifying and fascinating.
no, it's absolutely a nightmare to watch as it happens. But the final effect is less gruesome, I assure you. I wouldn't. Uh, but I've got a vial, fairly large vial. It's about 6 inches uh, long, and it's just swirling with this like slimy ooze with like little flecks of like metals and other bits of matter that are kind of suspended in this disgusting concoction.
That doesn't bother me all that much. Yeah, I
Here,
wouldn't mind taking that.
here you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And this
I'm
one, well,
certain I can find a use for it.
this one is for me. I'm just gonna keep that tucked away. He slips it into his ephemera bag. I'm just gonna keep that tucked away. For I'm just too trusting. I'm just too trusting an individual, and sometimes I just need to be able to tell if somebody's lying to me. So just made a little potion to help me with that, just in case. There turns out there are a lot of people out there that would just as soon lie to you as spit in your face. So here we go. Now, as far as your weave idea, now I like that. I, I feel like we could perhaps integrate a weave into this uh, this radio broadcast device. I think we'd need to kind of research a way for you to turn a weave into something more physical, and then I could perhaps help create that. Um,
Yeah, I kind of feel like the more collaboration is sort of instantiated in the effect that we want to create, the more in the spirit of the effect we want to create it is, and the more counter to their way of thinking. Um, it should be unusual. It should be something that we all do together.
Now, I like the way you're thinking there, bud. Yeah, I think I've heard of people using their magic and incorporating it into, I don't know, say a book or a poem. That might be a good place for us to start looking, just to understand the theory and the practice of that. Uh,
As a
Uh,
side note, Albion, you were working on something that you were going to talk to Claire about, if you
yes.
recall. So now might be an opportunity to do that too.
I've also had some ideas now. When I went back to Shadow, I was reconnected with my old life, and I had some thoughts about, well, Claire, what do you think might happen if the angels or demons that you summon had, instead of putting their own lives on the line, a wonderful mechanical man to inhabit, to do what they could normally do in a physical body without the danger of having their existence snuffed out if that physical body gets destroyed?
Claire is going to think about that for a minute and do this kind of pondering motion. And I think they probably enjoy that. Um, I think the only problem is size. I'd have to make sure that I'd have to, whatever I summon would either be powerful enough to operate it or big enough to operate it. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm not proposing here that I create iron giants. I'm just,
She's going to look sad for a minute.
I knew that's where your head was.
if perhaps we find that this can be successfully executed. Now that would be another story. Eventually we could perhaps do that, but the construction of such a thing would be, well, to be honest, would be well beyond my resources. So we would have to find a sponsor in order to make something like that happen. But in
As a side
practice,
note, what the mechanical effect of what he's talking about, with depending on what you want that spirit to do, it will make the colloquy automatic.
Okay.
Yeah, it would essentially prevent the I know angels and demons both, when they are destroyed while they are in a physical form, are permanently destroyed. So it
Spirits
would
too.
make it so that they're that anything that you conjure, anything you summon that would uh, you could utilize this form would be uh, out of danger. Would not have to worry about its essence being destroyed should it fight to the death or whatever.
Yep.
And they could look like wonderful little clockwork people or birds or
I think that's a great
whatever.
idea. And most of the beings that I've encountered, both ones that I have summoned and that other Goetics have summoned, would be happy with such protection. I mean, I know that once I gain a little bit more in power, I will be able to summon and bind certain beings, but that's limited and I can only do one at a time for an extended period of time. Oh, but I have a gift for you. And she's going to pull the book out of the book that had the information about the building of the radio. She's going to pull it out of her bag and present it to him.
Oh,
And I have a name.
well, do tell. Don't keep us in the dark.
So I was looking and I was digging and I did some more digging and looking. And then I found out that the original inventor of the ectoplasmic radio was Leander Z. Finnerty. And this is his book about how he did it.
And he is no longer among the living.
And he's dead, so when we're ready to talk to him, I can bring him up.
I see. Yeah, that does sound. Oh, that would be very helpful to me personally.
Yeah, that would be extremely helpful. Maybe he could answer some of the questions that we are going to have trying to pull this off together.
Agreed. Agreed. I think that'd be a real help. This is good news all around.
I might have more good news, but I told the person that asked that I would have to talk to you guys first. The Goetic that's in charge of my training at the Goetic place is,
Library.
yes. It doesn't look like a library. It's weird. There's books everywhere, and it's a mess. It
You're
looks like
describing a
a hoarder.
library to me.
No, it looks like hoarders gone wild. Okay, they're not on neat little bookshelves, and all the backs are out. They're like stacked everywhere.
Sounds like you're
Poetics are
describing a
very messy.
library to me, but
So,
all
anyways,
right.
he has requested to join us in our efforts because
Okay.
he noticed what I was doing, and he also said that he wanted to spend more time with me, which was kind of weird and awkward. And I think he was flirting with me, but I'm not sure.
That sounds. If I'm just if I can speak plain, that sounds explicitly like a flirtation to me.
Yeah, it really does.
Uh, Now I wasn't
So
there. Perhaps I missed some context or a key facial feature that or might have keyed me in that it was not. But to say I want to spend more time with you is now. I don't know what
oh,
your particular predilections are, but
he also had this kind of weird smile that he only gives me, like he's super happy to see me, but he doesn't want to show that he's super happy to see me, and it's yeah. So anyway,
do now. no offense intended, but do you understand that there are such a thing as social cues? Because you've just described to me that you recognize that they exist, but do you understand what they mean? Because this man sounds like he's a bit smitten with you.
So it's not a social cue. Is not where you hit the little white ball on the pool
No,
table.
no, no. That is a pool. That
Yeah,
is a pool
that's
cue. Billiards. That's for billiards. Uh,
So, anyways, I told him that I had to talk to my PICs and see if they are okay with him joining us on our little quest of social destruction.
I'm going to reflect it back to you. Are you okay with him
yeah.
joining
Do you
us
trust
on
him?
this? Don't ask her that. She clearly has no idea whether she should trust him or not. but
Yeah, you
but
got a good point
do
there.
you want him to come around in order to spend more time with you? Is my particular question. Uh,
She's gonna be she's gonna stand there and she's gonna have this whole thinking pose going on. Well, he kind of makes me warm and feel bubbly when he's around.
okay, so it's emotions entirely that you don't understand, is what I'm picking up here. Okay. Um, then yes, I'm absolutely fine with his as long as he has an understanding that we are looking to undermine civilization as we know it. Yeah, that's totally
Well,
totally
I
all right
haven't
with
quite
me.
told him that much. He currently thinks that I'm working on undermining the Goetic Council, which I'm kind of doing, somewhat, sorta, because I'm working with people that aren't part of the Goetic Council, Goetics, and that kind of makes them go, "Ew, how dare you? Why are you working with somebody that's not one of us?" Because they're good people, and I like being around them because they make me happy. Anyways, see, I understand happiness because I know that feeling. I've felt that feeling.
Good,
I
good.
don't understand these other feelings going on because they're weird. They're uncomfortable. Anyways, so we're good with inviting Heber to join us, which will be great because he's a higher level Goetic, which means that we would be able to convince him to summon higher level Goetics to help Goetic summonings to help us.
Now,
Yes, you would.
my only question here is, can we call him something other than Heber? That just that
He's
just sounds
that's his name.
all right. Well, here we go.
Billy's just sitting back watching this interchange like he's watching a really captivating television show. At this point, he's sort of like leaning back, like, "Wow, that conversation was a journey, but I guess we got here."
Well, I mean, he might be okay with us calling him Steven because that's his middle name. So his name is Herbert Stephen Anderson.
Heber Stephen Anderson. Yes.
Well, if the fella wants to be called Heba, I guess that's his problem.
Terribly ugly name. Rainey pointed this out to me. I would like to, uh, but I'm in full agreement. Uh, However, if he wants an ugly name, then I'll call him by his name. Yes, I'm fine with this. Billy, are you in agreement? Yes,
Uh, sure, why not?
we're in agreement. Now, whenever we're able to find Sterling again, we'll just have to fill him in. I hate to make decisions, when other parties aren't here to join, but I feel like we do need all the help we can get. I'll be honest.
That's
Not
for sure.
I'm just not a man of great means here, and
Well,
this.
and remember the conversation y'all had with Kadash, right? There are people out there that are willing to help. There are people out there that you can trust.
Sounds like
Yeah,
Heber's someone who's willing to help at the very least. Don't know if we can
at the
trust
very
him. But...
least.
So yeah,
There's
I
only
think
one way
that
to find
sounds.
out. If we don't trust people, then what are we even doing this for? And I'm the first one to admit we're in way over our heads. So fuck it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think we can handle a new partner in this endeavor.
I'm sure he will be very pleased.
All
I'm
right.
sure he will.
So, going back around the table, Jeff, you have
Yes.
created two ephemera. What's next? Are we going into uh, immediate time, or do we want to continue doing long-term research, or what?
I feel like, I mean, the other stuff that I would like to do, I feel like would be more between session stuff. I feel like I do need to find a way to get to the silver so that I can study with the makers who might be able to help me with uh, learning how to craft some of the machinery that I will need for both the etheric radio and for the wondrous mechanical men. Um, but so
Well, and
Albie
there's
is
also the author that that Claire found.
true. We could
That's something that we would be good to do in scene because I think like
mhm,
everybody has questions for him,
yeah, absolutely.
and then Billy would be interested in going to this over with you just because that's cool.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is perhaps we do a summoning scene with Leander after the break, and then plan for a future session where you guys go to the silver and do that. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I
That
mean,
makes a lot of sense to me. That's a pretty natural setup for a scene with Mr. Finnerty.
Fair enough. Claire, what about you? We've got you need to go back and talk to Heber,
Yep, I would
and
probably want to
then
talk to Heber.
it sounds like maybe we need to do a summoning for Leander, and that
And
will
I
probably
will
get us.
want to, I will want to
No, go ahead.
introduce Heber to Jeff and, or Albion and Billy.
Okay, so let's plan this out. You go back to Heber, and let him know, and then we'll take a break, and then after that, after break, um, figure out, or actually before break, figure out where you're gonna meet them. We can role play that after the break, and then we can summon Leander, and that should finish out our session. Does that make sense? Is that a good plan?
Yeah, I think
That
so.
works for me.
And
Solid.
then we can plan on you guys need to go to the silver. Do you want to do that next session? Do you want to plan for that first and then do it the session after? What
I
how fast do you want to do this?
going to the silver for Albion is going to take him way out of any spotlight because he is going to be spending probably a month and a half just studying and learning while he's there. So,
We're
uh,
all going to the silver with you.
well, you guys are going to have a real fun time as you stand around and watch Albion learn how to craft,
You're assuming they're going to
metal
be
and
standing around. I have
Have you met
plans.
us?
so yeah, Albie will I mean, he'll be doing really boring grad school level work when he
Yeah,
goes
I
to be
imagine
silver.
Claire and Billy will just be getting into trouble more than anything.
Chaos.
And
I can
Sterling
see
will be
that
wandering
happening.
around like, oh, be careful.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so we'll plan for that then. You guys can deal with buying the tickets and going on the Sunship to the Silver next session, and then we'll role play the gatekeeper and do all that and start into that, and then we'll follow that plan for this session. So you go back to the Goetic Library, Claire.
Yep.
And Heber is there. He is always there. You get the sense that maybe that's part of why he sounded the way he did when he was talking to you, because every time you go there, he's there. It's like he never leaves.
Okay. Claire is going to approach, kind of hesitantly, and have her hands in front of her and just kind of twiddling her thumbs as she approaches because she's kind of nervous about this.
Okay.
And she's going to look down and she's going to look up at Heber and say, I would like to have lunch with you. When would you be free?
He turns and looks at you, and he's got that smile on his face. He says, "I'm free now. I could do it." And he looks down at his hand. He's got a watch, like from Shadow. Oh, it's 4 in the afternoon. Maybe tomorrow lunch. Yeah,
Oh,
lunch is earlier than now, isn't it? I think
we could do dinner too.
dinner. Yeah, that's later than now. Yes, we could do dinner. Um, where would you like to go to dinner? I could take you to dinner. And he gets this big bright smile, like that it occurred to him that, hey, this is working.
Well, there's a cafe near here that's the really cute one with the teddy bears on the sign. Maybe we could meet there and have dinner together.
I could do that. What time? What He looks back at his watch. What time would you like to go? Do I need to pick you up somewhere?
No, we'll meet there. I live over in the Fade.
The Fade.
Yes.
Wow, that's a long way from here. I've heard it's disappearing. Is it really disappearing?
Kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit. I haven't noticed anything disappear since I've gotten there, but there are parts of it that seem to be fading off into the distance. But the lighthouse that I'm at is really nice.
You're not going to disappear, are you? That
I
would be
don't
bad.
plan to.
Okay. Okay. So 6 o'clock at the cafe with the bears. The cafe with Oh, I know where that is. I know where that is. Okay. Yeah. So, and he looks at his watch again, like he's trying to plan out every minute between now and 6 o'clock, so that he doesn't mess up getting there on time. 6 o'clock. I can do that. I can do 6 o'clock. Got it.
I look forward to seeing you.
Me too. And he smiles again.
I kind
All
of
right.
love
Are
this poor
you
guy.
inviting the others to the cafe then? I'm assuming.
No, I'm going to talk with him first and let him know, and then I will take him to meet the others
Okay.
at a
So
different cafe.
okay. So you're going to let
The
them
crazy
know that they
cafe.
need to be at a different cafe at a certain time, right? Okay. So with that, be thinking about what cafe you want to do, and
The weird one.
the inconvenient cafe.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so what we'll do then is we'll meet at the cafe with the teddy bears after break. We'll take a 10-minute break, and when we come back, we'll do that, and then meet with the group at large, and then we will see about speaking to a dead guy.
Fun.
All right. Hey, those of you that are still with us, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll be back in about 10 minutes here. And in the meantime, enjoy the music. Hey everyone, welcome back. We are once again in the actuality, and we're going to do a first on this show. We're going to head out on a date. We find Claire and her mentor in the Goetic order, Heber, on their way to a cafe where they're going to meet and discuss some things. So, Claire, you walk up to this cafe, and are you what time do you get there? Are you early? Are you on time? Are you fashionably late? Are you a
I
socialite?
am slightly early.
Okay, so you show up and you can get a table. They've got both inside and outside tables. Um,
I will get an outside table.
okay. It's very non fancy, I guess. Um, the seats and the tables are all old wood, um, lovingly polished and well used and things like that. But it's almost like rustic would be probably the best term for it. Um,
They
there's
get the
a
booty shine.
yeah. In the center of the table, it's a candle, but it doesn't look like, it's not a perfect candle or anything like that. It's not a magical candle. It's somebody actually made that candle out of wax like the old way. Um, and as part of the ambiance or something, right? So, as you sit down, you have a couple minutes, and you tell them I'm assuming you're waiting for somebody, and so they bring out a second menu, and place it in front of the empty seat, and at exactly 6 o'clock, you see Heber walk into the restaurant and come around and meet you outside. It's not 5:59, it's not 6:01, it's 6 o'clock. And make a perception check for me.
9.
Ooh, okay. So you happen to see him before he got there. There's kind of a uh, down the street. Um, he was walking a block or so, and about halfway down the block, you saw him glance at his arm and then speed up.
Okay.
And so he sits down with you, and this is where we're going to draw our first card of the day. So what do we got?
Jackal. You got the jackal.
Jackal, the nemesis of mysteries. Intimidation, power, ruthlessness, dark magic, and necromancy. This is interesting. This intimidating fellow is a dread figure to be certain. The jackal represents everything Non's fear about Visle, threatening displays of destructive power, dark, soul-twisting spells, ruthless, unforgiving magic that taps into death, demons, and worse. Power for power's sake, he is a selfish, megalomaniacal figure willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. The jackal is the nemesis of the Mysteries family. Many believe, however, that he is a literal being and not just a symbol on a card. Some believe that all the royalty cards show real immortal beings. If he is real, he is some kind of diabolic figure that not only uses dark magic, but offers it to others willing to use his methods. He sits down across from you and puts on his winning smile. He says, "Hi."
Hi. So, are you two guys kind of creeped out by the card draw as I am?
Oh boy.
Claire will give Heber a smile and say, "So, I did get a chance to talk to my PICs, and we would welcome your company. I would welcome your company."
His smile gets bigger. I'm glad. Me too. So, what are we doing?
Well, right now we're going to have dinner, and I will
Oh,
introduce them.
oh, oh, yeah, right. Dinner. 6 o'clock. Dinner. Yes. Sorry.
And then after dinner, I will make arrangements for us to meet them at another cafe, so that we can have discussions with them and we can fill you in a little more. I will state that some of what we're planning will be chaos and upheaval.
He kind of looks around for a second and shrugs. Okay.
And we're going to be making certain individuals in specific robes and masks unhappy.
Robes and masks. And he looks around and his eyes get really wide. Oh, really?
They are the ones that burned down my theater.
And his mouth just drops open. They what?
Yeah, I had a theater, and she's going to turn and she's going to point in the direction the theater was. And I figure you can probably still see like the charred remains and whatnot. Yeah, I had a theater there, and they burned it down. And
I know that place. I went to a play there one. It was horrible. They suck.
yes, I
I'm
inherited
sorry.
this.
Were you the director? They were wonderful. I loved them.
I was not the director, thankfully. We were working on introducing a new play.
Oh, good. I didn't, uh, uh, and he looks mortified, like he might have actually offended you, and he didn't want to.
But yes, I had been informed on more than one occasion about how terrible the plays were. And my initial goal was to return beauty and grandioseness to the theater of a more supreme quality. And then I found a book, and I was going to put on plays from the book to provide something new and something interesting and bits of history, because I love the history. And so then when I had published that I was going to be putting on this play, they killed all my ghosts and then burned down my theater. And now I'm out for justice.
Interesting.
So we will welcome your company, but I did not want to drag you into this chaos without you being fully informed about the people that it will be angering a lot.
Well, I mean, you're going to be safe though, right? If I help, I can help keep you safe.
As safe as we can be. We have several plans in place. So, yes, your company and your assistance would be great. Greatly appreciated.
Okay. And he appears relieved. Like that was actually a concern on his mind. So,
Claire is not going to know what to make of that.
um, you order dinner. I'm assuming you don't want to go like actually role play through the dinner or anything. But I mean, we
Nah, I'm
can.
good.
He takes his
That
fork
just
and
that's
stabs a bite and slowly lifts it to his lips. And yeah, no,
no,
I don't want to either. It's yeah.
no, no.
You have
I
dinner
vote.
and he pays. He pays for both of you. Um, I mean, unless you stop him. But
No, if he insists on paying, I will just sweetly thank him and give him a smile. And
okay. Um, so how are you going to contact Billy and Albion?
I'm gonna summon a fairy.
Are we summoning the same fairy?
No, a different one.
Okay.
Because I figure the first fairy is still injured, so I'm gonna summon like a littler sprite, somebody that's just big enough to send. Because I don't think I can send messages yet.
Okay. So you and Heber walk back to the Goetic College, um, or the Goetic Library. They have rooms for that sort of thing, that aren't, like in the middle of the street or anything like that.
Yeah,
Um, and
Wink.
and you
Sorry.
go ahead.
The wink. They have
Yeah,
rooms
wait.
for that sort of thing.
Um, no, the ones with the beds are in the basement. Anyway, um, so you summon a sprite together, I guess, and um, this one appears to be female. She just she looks kind of like the other one. Um, roughly the same outfit. Her wings are slightly brighter, but not appreciably different. Um, and she flits about and kind of looks at the two of you. And yes, yes. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
I need to send a message and get a message back, and you're the fastest one I know. Perhaps, and I'm gonna reach into my pocket, and I'm gonna pull out two glitter pins, one silver and the other one gold, and then I'm gonna turn them and make them all sparkly, and do the whole. I need to send a message to Albion Finch and Billy Burrows that I would like to meet them at a cafe. If you could go tell them that, and then um, tell them where, and then come back and tell me. I would say go to Billy first. Tell me if they would like to meet tonight or if there's a better time. I'd like to introduce them to my Heber.
Okay. As you're speaking, you see anime eyes. Um, they're like three times what they should normally be, and her mouth is open, and she's just staring at the pens as you make them glitter. Um, about 30 seconds later, she blinks. Huh? Did you say something?
I will hide the glitter pins to where she's focused on me again and repeat that I would like for her to take a message to Billy Burrows and ask him if he would be willing to meet me at the Inconvenient Cafe, or and then to Albie and Finch to let him know that we'd like to meet at the Inconvenient Cafe, unless one of them has knowledge of a better place to meet and they can give that information to you.
Okay. She flips around again, and if I do this, I get the pens, right? I get the pen. I need the pens. You need to
Yes,
give me the
if
pen.
you do this, 1 pen per person, you will get the pens.
Okay. Okay. I can do that. I can do that. And she holds out her hand.
Why is she holding out her hand?
She's looking at the hand that's got the pens.
I will put the pens in her hand. And
And
if
she turns and she kind of strokes the pens and my precious.
and if you know any perhaps if you or some of your other friends would be interested, I can acquire more. And I'm going to pull the thing around, I'm going to open it up, and then there's like a whole bunch of pins in there of different varying colors with glitter and metallic shine and whatnot. And then I'm going to close it.
She looks like she's about to faint for a second. And her wings sort of stutter in their flittering, and she kind of starts falling from the sky or from the air, and then she catches herself and she floats back up. Okay. I'll do this. There's no need to talk to anybody else. I'll take care of it. I promise. Just just
Excellent.
just when you need something, you call me. Okay, I'll take care of it for you. I promise. I'm really useful. I'll take care of it. Just don't call anybody else. My pens.
Well, I would need a name. Just something I can call you. You can whisper it in my ear.
She looks around and now she's starting to get scared, and she slowly comes towards you, and teacup.
Pleasure doing business with you. I will ensure I only call on you from now on when I have the pins on offer. Now, go take my message.
She darts out of a window, doing about Mach 4 towards where Billy lives.
So all we hear is boom.
Pretty much. But she's small, so it's kind of like you don't even get an actual boom. It's just sort of underwhelming. But she's gone. Billy, you're sitting in your bomb, and at the small metallic door to your bomb, you hear
I don't think we can hear that.
I can't hear anything.
you can't hear anything. Okay, you hear this rapid knocking, the very tiny. Um, you know the sound that it makes when you hit like a glass with a teaspoon, like you're trying to get the attention of table for a toast.
Mhm.
Think that, but machine gun style.
Okay. So yeah. Ah. Billy sort of assumes that like one of the animated bolts that sort of dances around the inside of the haunted bomb is acting up again. And it's just like, yeah, goddamn things. I go over to the door, just try to inspect it. It seems like it's coming from the other side. I go ahead and open it up.
Okay, you open it up, and the sound doesn't stop. As you peek your head out, you see this tiny little sprite, this female sprite, still knocking on the door like frantically. And it takes her about, or no, she's just knocking on the door. I take it back.
Okay. And I just watched for a second, and then, hey, it, I opened it like 30 seconds ago.
And she stops. Are you Billy Burrows? Are you Billy maybe? Yeah, Billy Burrows.
Yep. Uh, yeah.
I have a message for you. Yeah, a message. I got
Oh boy.
I got pens. I
Uh,
got pens.
that's nice. What's the message?
This pretty lady. This pretty lady summoned me, and she said she wanted to meet you, and she thinks for a second. Al,
Albion.
yeah, him,
Right.
and she wanted to meet
Yeah.
you and him at a cafe. The inconvenient one. Yeah, that one. And their food is
Uh,
really bad. And so if you wanted to suggest something else that she would meet you there, but if you didn't suggest anything, then she wanted to meet you at the bad food
yeah.
cafe. And
I,
and
all
and
right.
and
Why don't you go ahead and let her know to meet us over at Bob's in Rive River.
Bob's and
Do you know what
River.
it is?
I
Barb's, like B
Barb's
B A R
Barb's
B.
Barb
Yeah,
B A R
you got it.
Barb in Rye River. I can tell her that. And
Excellent.
she turns around and she's doing Mach 4 again. You hear this,
Mm-hmm.
not a boom, just poof.
Yep.
So she goes
Well,
back
I'm
and
head that
like
way.
she's been gone for all of 5 minutes, maybe. And as you're standing there with Heber, you hear you know what it sounds like when a rock gently clatters against a stone wall, like you toss it to maybe
Yeah.
make some noise. You hear that.
Okay.
I hate it when I miss. And you see her coming in the window, and she's kind of shaky. It's not she's not flying in a straight line. Uh, he said Billy said Barb's in Rye River. He
Okay,
doesn't
that
want
sounds
the
great.
bad food cafe.
That sounds perfect. Thank you. Did you
Al,
talk to Albion?
I haven't talked to Albion yet. Albion. Okay. And she shakily goes towards a different window, and then when she's outside, she does it again.
I wonder if size has anything to do with intelligence. like the smaller they get, the less calm. What do you
You
think, Heber?
you think you see Heber? He's kind of stroking his chin. I I never thought about it like that. Um, maybe. I mean, sprites. Yeah, yeah, they're not like Rhodes scholars or anything, but they're smart in their own element. Um, like go to the green. Don't piss off the sprites. Oh my God. Don't ever piss off the sprites. They will make your life miserable.
So bring lots of pins to the green.
Well, not it's not like you need to necessarily bribe them like we do when we perform colloquy or anything like that. It's just don't offend them. Because in the green, they know what's up and we don't necessarily. I mean, yeah, some of us do, but it's it's their home, you know, and they're very smart in their home, even if it
So
doesn't
keep
seem
treating
like
them
it
good.
here.
So I keep treating them nice, and we're all good. So are you ready to go?
Yeah, Albion, you are doing what?
Oh,
Working
I'm
on
sure.
alchemy or making dinner or
Oh, I'm sure I'm in the lab working on things. Rainey is kind of running around in circles, getting bored. But I'm probably just doing a little alchemical tinkering.
okay. Rainey notices it first, and he kind of yips a little bit. Um, and as he does, you notice that um, there's a very rapid, very soft rapping at your door.
Um, Albion puts down what he's working on and walks to the door, opens it, and looks out at head level.
The
Sees
rapping
nothing,
doesn't
I'm
stop.
sure. Uh, he- Hello. Uh, can I can I help? Can I help somebody?
And this little sprite peeks her head around the door and looks at you. Are you are Al 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 Albi Albion? I think.
You did it. I'm real
Yeah,
proud of you.
I got pens.
Of
I have a
course you
message.
did.
I have a message. I have
Is
a
it
message.
from Claire?
Pretty lady and black and white, black and big metal round thing.
Go on with your message, darling.
Um they want you to meet them at um Barb's in Rive River. Yeah, in Barb's in Rive River. And dinner, I think. And oh, you're eating no, you're meeting a Heber. Yes, you're meeting a Heber.
Very well. Uh, relay to
And
her.
as she jumps, um Rainey has jumped up onto your shoulder
Hmm.
and is kind of snarling at her. And she sort of backs away a little bit.
Albie just pushes Rainey off his shoulder and says, "Now, relay to the pretty lady that I will be there. Is there a time I ought to join, or perhaps a date? I'm entirely unclear on when I should be there. Should I just go now and wait until someone shows up? Because that could become an expensive affair."
She looks at you like confused, and finally she just nods.
I'll just go.
Oh, okay, just make sure he doesn't eat me. And she's kind of peeking, looking for Rainey, who at your push he realized he needed to, like not be there, but you can still hear him snarling just a little bit.
Hmm. Uh, I can't make sure of anything, if we're being honest. So you'd better go on and get.
She turns around. She's gone.
Pull the door closed and go to my room to put on some presentable attire. The shirt with the fewest stains,
Yep.
and the tie that doesn't have any like burn holes from acid and things like that.
There's only one out of like 30. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the fancy tie.
It's my nice one. I don't wear it. I don't wear it in the house. I put it on just outside of the door as I'm
Very
walking
nice.
out. But I tie a perfect like double Windsor every time. Without even a mirror to look. I just like give it a tug and it's done.
It's its own
Um
magic.
and and I start walking toward Rive River.
All right. Um, Claire, this time
Yes.
she's gone for about 10 minutes. Fades a little further. And she comes back in through the window and stops in front of the two of you and says, "He Al Albion, yeah, him. He's going to be there. He's going to be there. You should go so that you can eat. I mean, meet Heber. Yes, meet Heber."
Thank you. It was very nice of you to assist me. I look forward to doing business with you in the future.
Pens. And she vanishes.
All right. Yeah, Claire will lead Heber to Barb's and Rye River.
Okay. Um. So Albion and Claire, you are taking train to Red River. I'm assuming Billy, you are as well. Although the three of you are probably not on the same train, or at least the two of you are not on the same train. So Billy, you're gonna get there first, and
I would
tell me what Barb's look like.
So, in Rive River, there's this like big shopping district on a bridge over. I think it's called the Cerdes River. It's the reason it's called Rive River. So there's this big, huge bridge, and it's covered in like tents and shops. It's like a perpetual sort of market. And amid all of that, on the very edge of the bridge, almost looking like it's going to teeter off, is an old train car, like an old kind of like bronze colored train car with a pink neon sign that just says Barb's, sometimes flickers. And inside the train car is this diner, like very like 40s sort of feel with like the little swivel seats that are attached to the ground. And Barb herself is behind the counter all the time. She appears as like an old woman, but she's animated, so she's like 2-dimensional. It's a Roger Rabbit situation. So this old chain smoking woman in a pink waitress uniform. She's the only one behind the counter. She makes all the food. The ingredients are all real ingredients. They're like grown on farms far to the south. So the food doesn't taste like strange notions and concepts. It's just food. And then the only employee, if you could call her that, there's this young woman named Victoria who has a pink uniform. She's a Vizsla, and she insists that she works there. So she goes around helping Barb and taking orders and delivering food. But Barb claims that she does not actually work there and has no idea why she keeps doing this, and often asks her to stop. And that's the setup.
Excellent. Pull me a card.
One card being pulled. Devil.
What? Really?
Yep.
Any more Nemesis cards? What is
Boy,
up?
we're going down with the Nemesis cards, man.
What is going to happen? Making me anxious.
I am feeling a little creeped out. How about you guys? First the jackal, now the devil?
Devil, secrets, ravens, books, flames, the nemesis of secrets family. Means temptation, lies, charms, persuasion, and words. The nemesis of secrets is the prince of lies, the devil. Of course, there are many devils. The commonality is their need to corrupt the world around them. Charming, sexy liars that seek to draw mortals into their own evil. Devils don't kill, they talk. They don't destroy, they tempt. The term devil stands apart from demon in that way. A demon is typically a relatively unintelligent engine of violence and destruction. Devils are far more insidious. Okay. You arrive at Barb's. Um, Claire, you and Heber probably still arrive before Albion.
Okay.
But Albion, you're not too far behind. So as Claire, you and Heber walk into the bar, Billy is sitting at a booth in this old train car, and he beckons you over.
Claire will walk over. She will be holding Heber's arm, kind of like with her hand in his elbow and stuff.
Okay, well, that's noteworthy. Hi, Claire. Over here.
Hi, Billy. And when she leads him over, Billy, this is Heber. Heber, this is Billy, one of my PICs.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Billy.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're going to make mischief, apparently.
Hey, you got that part right.
Claire will sit and have Heber sit beside her. So I guess you got my message.
Yeah, I sure did. Sorry, I changed the venue on you there. I just wanted some real food.
Well, since nothing's trying to climb out of your coffee cup to eat my face, I think we're good.
All right then. I was hoping it'd work out that way. So, what is this little meeting about?
Well, I wanted to introduce Heber to you and Albion so that you guys knew who he was and knew what he looked like, and so that he understands the kind of chaos we're getting into. I've told him some of it, but I didn't really describe you and Albion because I don't know how.
Yeah, fair enough.
You notice Heber looking at you kind of intently, Billy. This not like in a bad way, but more of a huh? Kind of a
Mm,
curious way.
yeah, noticing that, um, I am going to take a moment to just kind of case him and see what sort of impression I get.
Okay. You get a very if there was a if Saturnine had a sorting hat, this guy should have been put into the Vancian College. He is the most scholarly looking goetic you have ever seen in your life. Not that you've seen a ton, but of the goet of all four of the organized groups in the apostates, the goetics are closest to the apostates. They tend to come in all kinds of shapes and sizes and proclivities and things like that. Um, but they all tend to be very much devil may care, shoot from the hip kind of people, right? Um, because they freely, they make deals with demons and devils and angels and spirits that can destroy you and all kinds of cool things like that, right? And their lives are very much sure, why not? I can do that. Um, Heber, on the other hand, looks very much like he belongs in almost like Hogwarts, right? He's not wearing a robe per se, but his clothes just scream scholar. Like he's been indoors way too long. His skin's a little bit pale. His hair, while it's done, it's kind of frazzly. There's a little bit of stubble here, like he hasn't shaved in a couple of days. Um, that that's kind of what you end up seeing.
And then just a little point of kind of clarification. Billy is trained in understanding motives, so um, Billy wants to know like what is this guy up to? Is he just have a thing for Claire? Is he bored? What's his motivation here?
Yes, he does have a thing for Claire. He is bored. He is perhaps a little naive, not like in the dangerous sense, but more in the um we're fixing to cause mischief and we're gonna mix it up with the thaw and stuff like that. Ooh, okay, yeah, I understand. No, you really don't understand, but yeah, I mean, who the thaw are, they're dangerous, but there's understanding and then there's what the crow has right now. You know what I mean? They Mixing it up with the thought, talking about it is one thing. Actually doing it is something completely different. He's the talk about it kind of person right now.
Yeah, got
But
it.
really, that's where you all
So,
are. So,
yeah, I get he's potentially a liability, but I'm not getting like ulterior motives or anything nefarious or
no,
weird going on here. So I'm gonna just relax and kind of lean into it, and wait for Albion to show up.
and as you're waiting, he kind of looks at you, and then he leans over to Claire. He's black and white. Like there's no color. Are you seeing this?
Yes, isn't that normal for Bisley?
That's so cool.
You don't get out much, do you?
No, is that a bad thing?
You're all right. Don't worry about it. It's
Okay,
no problem.
all right. Albion, you show up and find your way to Barb's, um, and walk in this large caboose kind of looking train car. And sitting in a booth are Billy and Claire and this guy. You're muted.
Okay. Albie walks in wearing a uh, clean uh, tweed jacket with brown sort of herringbone wool pants, a white shirt with just a couple of stains, and a dark blue tie. What no one else sees is that Rainey walks in, uh, standing about 6 feet tall, with a tuxedo and and his tail is a bit thicker and bushier than it is when he's in his regular fox form, just sort of swishing back and forth, and with a top hat on. And uh, Albion glances back over his shoulder as he walks in, and as he does, everyone sees him say something and turn around with like rolling his eyes a little bit, and then catches sight of the three of you, and walks forward and pulls up a chair at the end of the booth and sits down, and and Billy, he you see him gesture at the seat next to you, and then nod to someone that you cannot see. He says, "Well, hello, everyone. How are we making it this evening?"
Hi, Albion.
Dude,
This is Heber.
Uh,
Hi,
Herbert,
I'm
so
Heber.
nice to meet you. Oh, excuse me, Heber. Yes. I reach across the table to shake his hand.
He takes your hand and shakes it. It
I grab
it's
it firmly and I pull it across so that he's a little bit off balance, and I say, "Now, Claire is my neighbor, so I have to look out, especially to make sure she's okay. Do we have an understanding?"
You see him start sweating.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think we do. And I let go. I'm like, "I have my eye on you, but so does Rainy."
he he looks at Billy And then he looks at Claire and gestures at Billy and said, "I thought his name was Billy."
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't talking about me. You can't see Rainy,
He
the
looks
fox.
around. No.
No, he's there.
You can see him, Billy. Well, this is a good day. This is a very good day. Uh,
I guess I could if I wanted to. I'm gonna weave together um,
Oh, this is gonna be
sight,
good.
sight from freedom, um, and illumination from moonlight, uh, and just to
still might
see
not see
the
him.
illusion.
Roll high.
I don't know what level of effect this would be. Let's see.
You are going to need.
Create an illusion would be level 4.
No.
Find the answer to one question. Hmm.
I'm gonna give this a 6.
Okay, I can do that. That makes sense to me. Okay. Where do we go? And okay, so that is a 7 and a 5 on the
Wow.
dice.
All right. As you turn and look next to you, you see um, what looks to be a large fox. Now, the thing about this fox is not that it doesn't look solid. It looks almost like a ghost to you. Okay. Very, very faded, very shimmery, but it's definitely a fox. And he's wearing a tuxedo and a top hat. Um, and actually he's got a monocle over one eye that appears to be, coming from the pocket of the tuxedo. Um, and he's glowering at Heber.
Huh. You know, to be totally honest, that's not what I expected. But
Oh,
maybe.
he
It
looks over at you and tips his hat.
Rainy glances at you. Yeah.
As Rainey's a little bit more dapper than I anticipated.
He's just showing out for the night. Ugh. Wearing his penguin suit. At that point, he probably kind of starts to shimmer out of sight for you.
Um, Heber looks at Claire and are 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 your friends okay? Is this going to be a problem? I mean, I can leave if you need me to, I guess.
No, it's okay. Rainy is Albion's friend, and he's going to be nice to you because I like having you here. And she'll give him a smile.
Okay. About every so in the process of all that, Victoria has come over with glasses of water for all of you, and you see him reaching out and kind of spinning the water a little bit and fidgeting with the glass. He takes a sip, and about every 10, maybe 15 seconds or so, his gaze flits up to the empty seeming seat between Albion and Billy, and then it goes back to his water and he's fidgeting again. Billy, you sense that the nervousness is not because he has anything to hide, but because Albion has well and truly scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
and now
tracks.
he's worried about this invisible monster or whatever eating his face, or some similarly uh, horrid mental you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna, just as things move forward, Billy's gonna kind of make enough small talk to try to bring things back to normal. Also, really quick, I forgot to say, Victoria and Billy kind of have a thing. They flirt back and forth a lot. Victoria is also, I said she was a Vizsla, and she's also like narcoleptic, really, really bad. Every time she falls asleep, though, she blinks back to Shadow, where she like just works in a cubicle at an awful or no, she works as a typist in Shadow. So she'll be like taking your order, and she'll just like nod off and poof, disappear. Forgot to explain that part.
That's amazing.
But yeah, she'll come by, and Billy will be like, "Oh, by the way, Abby, if you've never been here before, the food is excellent. I think it's kind of your vibe."
I mean, is it going to try to eat me?
No, they actually buy produce.
God damn.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, can. I haven't eaten out at a nice restaurant in a very long time. I think I might spend a little money tonight.
Um, so do you guys have anything specific you wanted to chat about with Heber, or is this just like a social call, like a get to know you kind of a thing?
I was figuring it'd be just a get to know you kind of thing and social.
Okay.
Kind of a here's this new weird person joining our crew of adventurers.
So here's this new weird person joining our crew of weird people.
I am going to like as a, I guess, kind of a counterpoint to what Albion did. Billy's gonna uh, a little bit later, after we've kind of been eating for a while and talking, be like, no, no offense there, Eva, but just don't underestimate how dangerous this might be. And if you really want to be involved, we'd appreciate your help. But um, this this could get really serious. So
He looks at you for a second and then nods and says, if I'm not helping, how can I protect Claire? I don't want her hurt.
oh,
Her theater burned down. That's
yeah, that was pretty tragic. For what it's worth, I think your heart's in the right place. She's a good person.
and he turns and he kind of smiles this goofy smile at her. I think so too.
Claire will kind of smile back, but it's that awkward. I have no idea why he's smiling at me smile because she doesn't think she's a good person.
All right. So if nobody else has anything, we'll jump to how you want to manage the summoning. So I'm going to let you talk about that for just a couple of minutes and decide how you want to do that and where you want to do that. I'm going to take a couple of quick notes based on the card flips and some information. And then, yeah, don't shake your
What
head
card
now.
flips? What do you mean?
You didn't
No, we
think
didn't
that I
flip any
was just
cards
going to
this
ignore the
game.
card
What?
flips, did you?
We don't need notes on the card flips.
Right. So, yeah, Claire, that's you. We need to. Well, we need to pick a safe place, probably, to do it, because we don't really know. Do you know anything about this guy from when you were doing the research to find him in the first place?
I'd probably know about as much as Albion does. Um, I will
Nada.
suggest, yeah. Well, I gave Albion the book he wrote, so
Mm.
but I figure we'll
That's
use the lighthouse. That way, I can make the protective circle,
Okay,
and we can
that's a good
barricade
idea.
the door to where we're not interrupted by people.
Yeah.
So you're heading back to the Fade. You are going to summon a spirit from the Pale and converse with them.
Yep.
Okay. So you make a circle and go ahead and make your roll. Yes, let's do a card draw first. Brain is not functioning. Just don't draw a nemesis card.
Oh my god.
You're already giving me too many good ideas.
we need a perfect set.
Ambassador. Is that a nemesis card? I don't know which one's. No, it's an adept card.
Yeah, that just continues the effect, or do you have to draw another card?
No, it does not
Wait a
continue the
minute.
effect. It's just a card. Actually, wait a minute. Hang on. Let me check the key.
I think if it's an adept, you draw another card.
I think that's right, but it's been a minute.
The companion and the adept always confuse me. One continues the effect from the previous, and one causes you to draw a new card to put on the next sun.
Just a second. Okay. The adept is playing another card on next sun. So first off,
Assassin.
God. First off, let's take the ambassador. Okay. Meanings: diplomacy, reason, discussion, intelligence. She hails from a far off land carrying a message of unity and civility. The ambassador wishes to talk, not to fight. She knows that the words of wisdom offer a path to success that violence never could. Her words are careful and measured, never rash or ill considered. If only there were much more individuals to make the world a better place. The ambassador is the adept of the visions family. Her magic and skill come from her ability to persuade, which again brings us to the idea that words are as magical as any spell or ritual, just another type of incantation. Okay, and you said the other one was
Assassin.
And
Another
another
card.
nemesis. Oh,
No,
no.
assassin is an adept card.
Yeah. Which
oh, yes, it is. Subtlety is the assassin's greatest tool. Anyone can kill, but he does it so deftly and so quickly that even the victim doesn't realize they're dead until the assassin is long gone. He often poses as someone harmless or even friendly because betrayal is subtlety's closest sibling. The assassin is the adept of mysteries. His knowledge of the secrets of death is limitless, and his use of skill and finesse would be a thing of beauty if he used them for anything other than murder, but he does not.
Another card.
Yep.
I think Monty is upset that we haven't played in a while.
I
This
think
is
he
going
is
to be a
too.
limited encounter,
I'm
guys.
sorry, buddy.
Praise him.
Ghostly presence. Pale
Oh, that
green.
one's fun. Is it visions? No, it's
Mysteries, rats,
Yeah.
mirrors, stone. Meanings: the past, guilt, unresolved. Oh, good grief. Okay. We all have our ghosts. They haunt us, both metaphorically and, of course, literally. We can become weighed down by our past sins, our unrequited feelings, our unresolved issues. As humans, we crave closure. But is such a thing ever truly possible? The ghostly presence suggests that it is not. There's always something for our past that will arise later to remind us of the wrongs of long ago.
Okay, is
All
Yep.
anybody
right.
else creeped out?
Monty had a plan.
I feel a little creeped out considering Claire is fixing to, summon a ghost, and now we've got ghostly presence.
Why, yes. Yes, you do.
Creeping.
All right.
All right.
So go ahead and make your summoning roll.
Am I going to get assistance from Heber? Or is
Yeah,
he
sure.
there to watch?
No, if you want him there and don't send him away, he'll stay with you. And you can take a actually take an extra die.
So, just in case, I am going to throw a thingy at it.
A bene, a sorcery point or a sortilege point.
Sorcery, I think.
Okay, so let's add one to the dice rolls.
Okay. Okay, I got a 7 on the magic dice. And then 6 and 2. So 7 and 3.
Okay, so no zeros, so we're good. You um you both work at it for several moments, and then all of a sudden, shimmering into existence in front of you is a tall, very thin, um, older gentleman. He looks to have just hair right around here, massive bald spot right through the middle, Picard hair. Um, he's His clothes look to be fairly simple and rough. And there's no color to them really or anything. It's just, you know, ghostly kind of whitish blue, but they don't appear to be, fine or anything like that. They appear to be a working man's clothes. Um, and you note that um, as he's kind of floating there, standing probably 6 inches above the ground, um, his body and his hands are shaking just slightly. Um, Not shivering or anything like that, but um, kind of like a tremor or something. Who are you?
Friends. I'm Claire, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Leander.
Friends? I
Friends.
have no friend named Claire.
We're new friends.
Oh, it has been a long time since anyone has talked to me.
I am so sorry to hear that. That must be very lonely.
You think he nodded, but it's almost undetectable from the way he's shaking.
How much do you remember from when you were alive?
If anything, his face darkens some. When I was alive, I remember I remember betrayal. I remember death.
We would like your help, and perhaps we can help you provide justice for your betrayal.
Justice?
We, and I'm going to point at Albion and Billy and Heber, are building, are going to build a radio that does not answer to anyone else's agenda but ours. We would be honored to include your story if you will help us build it. Our primary goal is to produce plays from this book, and I'm going to hold up a copy of the book so that other people will receive justice for the wrongs that they have faced.
Okay. He Sorry, I'm flicking through my notes here. What the heck was his name? The guy that wrote Stories of the Airvast, the plays.
Orisard.
Orisard the Architect. Okay. Um, he his eyes widen as you see, or as you mention that book, and he holds it up, or as you hold it up, he looks at it. You have Orasard's book?
Yes, and I have made numerous copies of it to ensure that his words are not destroyed, even though some wish to do so.
Yes, yes. The the angular serpentine.
Is very angry with me right now, and I would like your help to make them even more angry. Can I count on you to help us build a radio? I have a maker right here. He's so excited to learn from you.
Radio.
Yes,
I
an
I
active presence.
I built a radio
Yes, you
once.
did. You invented it.
Someone destroyed it. Killed me.
Well, now you can get justice and build a new one with our help. We're going to build several radios in several different locations. Out of character question, is there a way to give a ghost a body?
I believe your maker is investigating one possible way. There are also several spells that will bring people back from the dead. You yourself have actually experienced one of these.
There are also long form spells that will give a ghost a body for a day or two.
Yep, there's options. I I cannot stay. I feel she's pulling me back, but I would help you if I can. Find find a way to help me stay.
I will do so. Thank you for agreeing to help me. I will make sure that the next time I summon you, I have a body available for you. Or perhaps a spell that will allow me to bring you back to us in full flesh.
And you see him sort of half bow at the waist, um, slowly because he's old, but as he sort of fades into nothing.
Well, we got our answers. Starting to, anyways.
And we're making progress. That's for sure. Wonder who betrayed him. Should look into that too.
Well, I would hit. I'm going to look at Albion. Did you get a chance to read his book? Perhaps he stated somebody that was working with him.
Albion thinks.
What
GM.
what you remember from the book? You do not remember reading anything about an assistant. What you
That's why he got betrayed. He tried
what
to
you
hog all the credit.
what you do remember, however,
Mhm.
is that the book mentioned that the book itself is not, but the book mentioned that he lived and died before the war.
Hmm. Um, no, no, no one in particular comes to mind. Excuse me, nobody in particular comes to mind. Based on the reading material. However, I mean, he lived prior to the war, and while I don't remember an awful lot about the war itself, I do know that the agents of the enemy were everywhere before the war. So perhaps the enemy itself was responsible for his death. But I
Sounds
don't know
like
who
he
that
feels
would be.
broken.
Yeah, his reaction to the book and to Urasad in general was a little more intense than I really expected. There's more
He
to this
said
story.
The
he said
way
something about a snake or something.
He said the angular serpentine from the book, from the play.
he said Orisard gave you, I'll just give this to you. He gave you all the impression that he knew Orisard personally.
That's what I thought.
That
Yeah, I think he
it
knew the
was
guy.
that tone of voice. He didn't come out and
Hmm.
say it or anything like that. That's he said what he said,
Mm,
but the way he said it gave you the impression,
mm.
all of you, that
Hmm.
that's what he meant.
I suppose it's not necessarily far fetched. It's two prominent people from the same time, from the same city. We should probably look into it a little bit more, but you know, we'll we'll have some time while you finish up that whole body thing.
Well, right now I've got to work on getting this radio broadcasting. Oh, wait.
Mm.
You mean
Party for him.
The silver.
body for him? Now that is a
Well,
good thing to work on, Claire. If you'd like, I could help, but I do feel like my talents are better suited to continue in this. And I gesture toward the book.
Maybe. I just wonder if it'd be easier. Wasn't he a maker?
He was.
So if we had a way to bring him back, then the two of you could work together and then you wouldn't have to research as much because you'll have his knowledge because he's already built it.
I mean, I already have a good understanding of the schematics, and I have the book that you brought me uh, describing much of the theory. So I do think I'm in a good place. But if you were able to bring someone in that could help with the construction, now that would be something
Then
because I do not have as much skill or practice with the creation, the construction of such a device.
that sounds like a good plan. I will work on the body.
Excellent.
All right. That is where we'll end our session today. Guys, it was so good playing with you again. I've missed it so much.
It's been a month.
yeah,
So long.
crazy.
this was a really good session. I had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
good session.
Good.
So, by way of closing an announcement, it's Invisible Sunday, and every Sunday is Invisible Sunday because Invisible Sun rocks, as you can see from the last 3 hours of fun we just had. So next Sunday, while you're waiting for us, go check out Manapot Studios and the Hole in the World. Um, the great Zamino and his cast are amazing. We love them to death, and the story is heck. I'll say it. It's even better than mine, because he's awesome. They've got all kinds of other programming too. Check that out as well. But I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for Invisible Sun. Tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Citadel Lounge is back open, and we're going to sit around and chat about TTRPGs. Come join us. Drop questions in chat. We'll answer those live. We've got kind of a topic that we want to or that we're going to talk about too. But we'd rather talk about what's going on in your games, and help you if we can, and maybe give you some advice or answer questions. So feel free to drop those and drop by, and we'll sit and chat with you. Other than that, my cast, I love them to death. I appreciate each and every one of you, and that you're willing to join me on this journey. And so we'll look forward in 2 weeks to getting back to the actuality and figuring out how to build a radio and stuff. So, from our Citadel to yours, happy gaming.